All right, here we go. It's either about to be super good or super bad. Let's see. Let's go. $10,000 limit on the Robinhood Gold Card. So guys, in this video, since I got approved, thankfully, I'm going to go over 4 different things. I'm going to go over number 1, the full details about this credit card. Number 2, who this card is a good fit for. Then number 3, who this card is not a good fit for. And then number 4, I'm gonna go over how to actually get approved for this credit card if you wanted to. So let's get into it. So just to give you a background, I've already had a Robinhood brokerage account for probably like the last 5 years or so. And I definitely do have like some crypto and stock investments on my account. So when they initially announced this card, I already knew at some point that I was going to actually get it. I just didn't really know when, but I just made sure to add my name to the wait list when they actually put it out. And the main reason I honestly just wanted this card was just because of the cash back that you can put straight into your Robinhood account for investing, which makes sense for me personally, especially since I'm actively already investing on the Robinhood app anyways. Also, as far as how the actual reward earnings part works, essentially with this card, you earn 3% cash back on every single purchase. So that means there's no rotating categories, there's no spending caps, and there's no activation required. It's pretty much just a flat 3% across the board on every single thing that you buy. So for example, just to give you a visual perspective, let's say you're spending around $2,000 a month on this card. That essentially means that you're going to be able to earn $60 in cash back every single month, which might not sound like a lot at first, but it could definitely add up super quickly throughout the year, especially when you think about it long-term growth-wise when it's invested properly. Then there is some alternative ways to redeem your points as well. For example, you can redeem them for things like gift cards, statement credits, Robinhood merch, and there's even a mystery box option where you can basically spend your points to essentially give you a chance to win prizes and things like that. Which after I did some research on the mystery box, you can definitely earn things like 4% cash back at stores like Amazon, Starbucks, Lululemon, or even more points back in return. Now, what I will say is I definitely wouldn't recommend doing any mystery boxes or gift cards because obviously you're not gonna get the most out of your points by redeeming them that way. The main play is essentially just to stick with the cashback option that deposits straight into your brokerage account. So whether you're investing in things like stocks, crypto, index funds, this is just a better overall move, especially when it comes to thinking long term. Now, another thing I noticed with the Robinhood Gold Card is that they definitely do promote it as a no annual fee card. However, you technically need to have a Robinhood Gold membership to even be eligible to have the card, which is essentially $50 a year. So just to be all the way real, the card is basically a $50 annual fee card. However, Robinhood wants to, word it, point blank period, it's a $50 fee to be able to get this card. Anyways, now let's talk about who this card is actually for in the first place. And I would honestly say if you're someone like me who already has a Robinhood brokerage account that's actively investing in things like stocks, crypto, and things like that, then I would definitely say this is a card for you and something that can actually integrate smoothly into your lifestyle without a doubt. Also, if you are someone who already has a Robinhood account, you're pretty much already going to be familiar with the app anyways. So your learning curve will be a lot less versus someone who's never had an account before. Then another type of person I would say this card is definitely a good fit for is someone who's an entrepreneur or business owner who's trying to invest towards their retirement. Because if I'm being real, I've never really heard anyone talk about this, but if you're self-employed, you don't have that company that's going to match your 401k contributions or a pension to rely on once you're old and ready to retire. You pretty much have to set up your own retirement savings on your own. So using this card could actually help you start building towards that once you're actually old and trying to retire someday. Then another person I would say this card is a good fit for is if you're actually interested in getting started with investing and you're just starting out. Maybe you're like in your early 20s or 30s and you're just in the mindset of wanting to learn the process of investing. And this could definitely be a good entryway for you to actually help you get your feet wet and just help you start building and saving up. Now, on the other hand, let's also talk about who this card is most likely not for. For example, if you're just straight up not interested in investing at all, then this card is not going to be made for you. Because at the end of the day, everybody pretty much has different goals and focuses in life. So if you don't feel like opening up a Robinhood brokerage account account and you don't want to add any new complexity to your finances, then this is going to be an easy skip for you and something that you most likely won't fit. So with that being said, the next type of person that this card might not be good for is somebody who earns way more points using other credit cards that better fit their lifestyle. For example, if you mostly redeem your points for things like flights, hotels, or vacations, I would 100% say it just makes way more sense to use the card that gives you way more value for your goals. Because I'm gonna be honest, with the Robinhood Gold Card, it's just not gonna give you the same flexibility with getting those things. They don't even offer like a way to transfer your points for travel or anything like that other cards actually do offer. However, I did see that Robinhood does have a section where you can redeem your points for flights and hotels, but doing that will basically tank the value of your points. So I would just avoid doing that completely. Then another person I would say that the Robinhood Gold Card is not for is somebody who has a low credit score right now. So just to give you an idea, when I applied for this card, I was around a 770, but I would try to at least aim to have a 725 and above just to be safe. So if your credit score is just not there yet, you might want to hold off with getting this credit card until you can slowly work your way up to that excellent credit score range. All right, so now with that being said, let's talk about the strategy and how to actually get approved for the Robinhood card in the first place. So step number one is I would say to open up a Robinhood brokerage account and just connect your bank account right away. And you don't even have to buy anything necessarily right away, but I definitely do believe that connecting your bank account is a sure way to just build that initial trust with Robinhood right away. Then once you finally open up your Robinhood brokerage account, you need to go in the top right corner where it says credit card and then just add your name to the wait list. And by doing this right away, it definitely puts you in queue to be able to be invited to apply, which once they do invite you, you'll receive it via email. Also, I'm gonna be real, since this card has been out for a while now, I feel like they definitely became way more lenient on who's invited to apply versus when the card was first announced and just dropped. So just make sure to add your name to the waiting list right away, so that way you can at least be in queue to be invited. And then step number two is your credit score does matter. And I'm not saying that you need to be a 850 credit score across the board, but I definitely would say to try to at least be at a 720 or higher. That's pretty much in the ballpark area where you can start getting approvals and, getting it consistently without having to worry about you being denied because your credit score is too low. Then step number three, I would say if you've been on the wait list for a month or two, what you could do is try reaching out to customer service. For example, I would try to message them through customer support using the app and just basically ask them of the status of your invitation. And at the end of the day, it's not 100% guaranteed, but I mean, it's definitely worth a shot to try to get a representative to manually push your invitation through. Then step number four is to start funding your Robinhood account. And it doesn't even have to necessarily be a lot of money. Maybe it's like $20 here, $20 there. They just basically want to see that you're actively using the platform and not just applying for their credit card out of nowhere right after you opened up your account with them. So even by having a little bit of money in your Robinhood account and just getting some activity with a little bit of investments here and there, that will definitely strengthen your chances of being able to get an invitation to apply for the card. So these are the exact steps that I personally did. And again, this is from my own personal experience that I'm showing you guys. So there could be some variables that make your situation a little bit different. But at the end of the day, it's literally all about how you position yourself correctly. And that's when these approvals start to flow so easily. Now, if you made it to the end of the video, drop a fire emoji in the comments so I could see who watched all the way to the end, because that tells me that you was locked in the whole time. So shout out to you. And then also, guys, if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and subscribe, because at the end of the day, this is the exact type of information they didn't teach us in school. So I'll see you on the next one.